Hi everybody, welcome to my Facebook Live event this week. I am so glad to be back with you and I am so glad to answer your questions. So many amazing questions came in this week and I cannot wait to dive in. And if while you're listening, while you're watching, you have ideas or questions, feel free to type them in. I love answering on the spot. That's my absolute favorite way to do this. So put me on the spot. Throw me a curveball. I'm ready. It's Friday. Anything is possible. So let's kick it off with your questions that have come in this week. My first question came in from Beth. Beth wrote, here are a few questions for you. Our house decorations, paint, area rugs, and couches have been the same for the last 14 years. So they have gone through a couple dogs, cats, 3 kids, and then some. I'd like to start fresh, but I don't know where to start and with what. How do I choose coordinating colors and designs for the 3 main connecting rooms, living room, dining room, and kitchen? Do I pick the wall colors, couch, or area rugs to go off of first? This is for a 1940s, 1,500 square foot Cape Cod. I hope this meets your question criteria. I'm stuck and I'm not quite sure what to do first. Thanks. So Beth, first of all, there is no question criteria. You just write in and I'll see if I can help. And I can definitely help with this question. So we happen to be Facebook friends, so I know a little bit about you, and I know that you still have some kids running around and you still have some dogs running around. So let me tell you where you are not going to start. You are not going to start with the couch because the couch is just going to be a neutral. So that can really just fold into whatever you're doing. Of course, you want the first thing that you think about with the couch to be not the upholstery or even the color, but the comfortability. So you want to find that dream couch the entire family is super excited to snuggle up on, and then you can choose a nice neutral color. You're not going to do a light color because with kids and pets, we worry about stains, even if it's a stain-resistant fabric. So you are going to avoid whites and creams. You're also going to avoid navies and blacks. Anything too dark like a chocolate is really going to show every piece of pet hair, every piece of lint, and again, even those stains, believe it or not. So go for a mid-tone neutral. Now, whether you go in the gray family or the beige family is the next question. So for you, I would recommend starting with the rug because we know with kids and pets, you are going to need a rug that has a pattern because the pattern will help to camouflage those stains. So the rug is the first place for you to start. You're going to want something multicolored, again, so that way the stains will be super camouflaged. If you get a solid rug, no matter if the color is very light or very dark, it will betray every accident. Every spill, smudge, pin mark, anything is going to show. So you need to get that multicolored patterned rug that will really have the resistance that you're going to need with your big family. So start with a rug. Find something that will ideally give you a color palette for the entire room. So you'll be working with the colors found in the rug for all your accents. Now we know you're going to find that amazing couch that's going to be super comfortable, and you're going to pick a neutral that coordinates with the rug. So if you're looking more in the gray family, then you'll pick a light gray. If you're looking more in the beige family, you'll pick a mid-tone beige. Now for you, based on the fact that your home is 1940s style, I'm going to imagine that the architecture lends itself to something more transitional rather than modern. And so I think you should go for something like a taupe, a gray beige, or a beige. I think a true gray might go a little too modern for the era of the home and perhaps your personal aesthetic. Then the very last thing that you want to think about is that wall paint color. I actually choose the wall paint color at the very end after I've selected the pillows, the artwork, the rugs, the drapes, all of that. Then I choose the paint color because you can choose from thousands upon thousands of paint colors, but you'll only have about 10 rugs that fit your price point and match your aesthetic. So that's really going to narrow things down for you, and that's where you're going to want to focus in. Rug, sofa, then wall paint. Now, because you're dealing with this open living room, dining room, kitchen, you do want to carry that palette that you've created with the rug through the space. However, it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. I love to create an interesting dining room. So for instance, if I've done a light neutral wall paint, say in the living area, then I would do maybe a saturated color in the dining room. I think the dining room is a perfect place to take a paint risk, to go bold, to do something unexpected, because there's not a lot of furniture. There's not a lot of accents in a dining room. It's pretty much just a table, chairs, some kind of storage piece. So you do need that visual wow. You need that pop that the other rooms get with tons of artwork, tons of upholstered furniture, pillows, things that you just won't find in the dining room. So my recommendation would be to choose a strong color from that rug and paint the dining room that tone. I particularly love dining rooms that are green and yellow. I think you can't go wrong with those two colors. It's really fun. It's still warm and inviting. I stay away from orange because according to Feng Shui, that color has connotations of increasing appetite. So if you're looking to lose weight or not gain weight, I think orange is not the way to go. And I also tend to stay away from blue and purple. Blue and purple in a dining room will cast that pallor on your food, and there's not a lot of blue or purple foods. So it tends to feel like an unnatural color, a color that we don't associate with eating, and therefore it's not a very comfortable color in the dining room space. In terms of the kitchen, I would again go with that light colored neutral. I don't tend to do super colorful kitchens. I just think that it doesn't always feel classic and clean, especially in an older style space. So I might do that same neutral from the living room in terms of wall paint, or I might go a little bit darker or a little bit lighter. But I would save that true color, that rich tone for the dining room paint exclusively. So Beth, I hope that helped. And if you are looking for great places to kick off your rug shopping, since you know that's going to be the first place that you're going, check out, let's see, my favorite stores for rugs. I do like Overstock. I love Pottery Barn. I really like Crate&Barrel, even though their rugs tend to be a little bit expensive. And I do like Wayfair. So that should give you a great place to start and a nice range of price points, and I hope you find something you love. Keep us posted on your progress. I cannot wait to hear how it all turns out. So let's get to my next question, which came from Charlotte. Charlotte writes, Betsy, what would your dream project be? Wow. All right, so I'm going to dream a little bit here. My dream project is always a project where I get to go somewhere a little bit unexpected. So let me just put out there that my real dream project is any project where I make a big impact on someone's life, where after I've met with them, after we were able to change the layout in the space or select that sectional that everybody loves to sit on, then their life really changes and they really notice that big impact. So that's my overall dream project. But in terms of like a real dream, I love going on location, especially with summer coming up, to Long Island. I love Montauk, I love the Hamptons, I love working on beach rentals, I love working on beach houses. I love any excuse to get close to the beach. So certainly getting paid to go there like I did last summer when I went to the Hamptons twice for work. It was glorious. I had an amazing time, and certainly I just got back from London about a month ago, and I had a blast designing there. So getting outside my comfort zone, getting inspired by the surroundings, going to stores I've never been to before, and getting paid to essentially have an amazing vacation, that's a dream job. I'll put that out there right now. So if you have a space in the Hamptons, Charlotte, let me know. I'll be out there in a hot minute. So let's check on my next question, which came from Kara. Kara writes, Betsy, I'm always excited to watch your weekly Facebook Live events. I have a question. Do you think painting our brick would improve the look of our exterior? Possibly white brick with black shutters? Thanks in advance, Kara. So you sent a picture of your house, which was very helpful. I think as I discussed, I can't remember if it was last Facebook Live or a different time altogether. Once you paint brick, it's very hard to go back. It's practically impossible to go back. So you really have to commit to that painted brick. So in this situation, I would have you do two things. I would have you go online and look at brick exterior houses and find ones that really match what you would love your home to look like. So I would just Google brick exterior homes or brick homes, and then maybe Google the era of your home, and then see what comes up for you. Because whenever somebody's going to take a big risk like that, like something that you can't take back, what I want you to do is already have a visual of somebody else who's done it in a similar way that you feel really excited about. That will give you the confidence to go forth and make this really big decision, because painting brick is not something that you should take lightly. The other thing that I would have you do is I would have you check with a real estate agent, because when you do something big like that, it's going to significantly impact your resale value, either positively or negatively. And I do feel like the current brick exterior of your home looks a little bit dated, so it doesn't necessarily look fresh and current. I think it could use a little bit of help. But that being said, I would have you talk to that real estate agent about what they think would be best in the long run. Now, if you're planning on being in this space for over 10 years, you can really do whatever you want. You shouldn't necessarily think about resale value all the time, but in this case, you cannot turn back the hands of time on this painted brick, so I'd want you to have all the information before you go for the gold. You had mentioned painting the brick white, and I think a solid white could be somewhat problematic. I might be more into like a white wash or a pickling. And one thing that I really don't enjoy is I don't love the stark contrast of a white house with black shutters. It's almost too much contrast. It doesn't always feel fresh or current, and it kind of feels obvious. So I might go with something more subtle. So if you did do the white brick, and ideally it might be whitewashed, maybe you would do a navy shutter. So you still get that contrast, but it's not so black and white, literally. So those would be some words of wisdom from me. You also might want to think about your surroundings. For instance, if you are close to a body of water, that blue could be really appealing in terms of a nautical connotation. But if you're in more of a wooded area, you may want to think about an emerald green for those accent shutters, really drawing out the landscape. Or if you have a really bold sensibility, if your tastes are somewhat eclectic, I think the shutters can be a really fun place to take a risk. Or you could do a nice deep gray and take a risk with your front door. You know, front door paint is all the rage. Taking that big risk with that door and doing something that is a little bit more offbeat. I was just talking with a friend the other day who's buying a new house, and I advised her to do a purple door, like a very rich plum. Something that embodies your personality, something that will really stand out, something that will capture attention but still look nice and organic in your area. So those are some things to think about, but I would be super hesitant to paint that brick until you have an expert opinion from a real estate agent and until you found a picture of something that you would really love to have that you can easily replicate. So Kara, I hope that helped. I have time for one more question this week. My question comes from Robert. Robert wrote, Betsy, where is your favorite place to shop? Whew, that is a hard one. As you guys probably know, I don't think that any one store does everything well. Personally, I think that each store, no matter how high-end or expensive it is, does certain things really well and certain things not as well. My favorite place to shop. Well, if I'm looking for upholstered furniture, my favorite place to shop is Room and Board. I'm also a big fan of Macy's. If I'm looking for artwork, I love to look at Z Gallery. If I'm looking for mirrors, I love to look at Horchow. If I'm looking for pillows, I love to look at Burke Decor. And I already mentioned my favorite places for rugs when I was answering Beth's question earlier. But if I was looking for drapes, I like JCPenney, Pottery Barn, and Etsy. Etsy has amazing vendors that will sell fabric and turn it into custom drapes for a very affordable price. So that would be my recommendation in terms of first stop stores, Robert. I hope that gets you shopping, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Until next Facebook Live, bye guys.